Is art. Recently, I'm working on a paper. It's about analysis of New Zealand's investment environment. So it's about to establish a ecotourist company in New Zealand. So this idea came up to me because I like to travel and watch movies. For traveling, I like to see the mountains, hiking there, and fish in the oceans, and enjoy sunshine in the sand beaches. And above all, as shown in the movies, especially in the movie of The Lord of the Rings, there's a beautiful, graceful mountains showing over there in New Zealand. So I'm wondering whether I can have a real trip over there in this life. So during the trip, I can fulfill my fantasy and chase after my curiosity. So why I choose New Zealand? Besides of this reason, I think I think it's because of the climate. New Zealand is located in the southern hemisphere, which means the climate over there is opposite to the north part, and such as Europe, Asia, North America. So, if the wheels is related to the climate, it will change seasonally. So, supposing if you visit to New Zealand, you will enjoy the summer wheel in your winter time and enjoying the winter wheel in your summertime. So that's interesting. The second, New Zealand is famous for its dairy product and wool product industry, which takes account over 70% of the international market share. So, if you can visit New Zealand, maybe you can find the secret of running that kind of business, and maybe you can find your own opportunity to open a business over there. Third, New Zealand. Wiki, the Wiki bird stands for the special culture in New Zealand, like Maori culture. That kind of bird represents an isolated civilization in that island, in that land, and it shows special culture over there too. So if you like to visit the First Nations, like the Indian in Canada, I think for 100% you will like to visit the Maori culture, Maori over there in New Zealand. So let's talk about the ecotourism industry in New Zealand. Agriculture. Ecotourism became popular recently for its claims of the environmental protection and sustainable development. And to run that kind of business in New Zealand, I will represent the following reasons. The first, accordingly, New Zealand has the second place in the easy of doing business, including the first place of starting a business over there. That means it's very easy for anyone, especially for the overseas investment, to run a business in New Zealand. And about the human development industry, New Zealand has 20th place in that over there, which means this industry shows us our employees will have a wonderful life over there, and New Zealand has attracted lots of the skilled migrants working and living there. And about the quality of life, New Zealand ranks the fifth one in this world, which means it's also the best place for us to live and work there. Second, New Zealand has over 100 years of the tourism industry history, which means New Zealand has prepared plenty of the information, infrastructure, and industry for us to open a tour company over there. It's very easy for us, and it is a developed country, and it is full of the opportunities for us. The third and last one, let's talk about the market share of the tourism. Accordingly, tourism takes over. Tourism industry in New Zealand contributes over $15 billion, which is the 9.1% of the GDP in New Zealand. And tourism expenditure from domestic visitors are 20% bigger than the international visitors. And average spend per day trip is $103, and per overnight trip is $341. So you count it. You tell me whether it is a good business to open ecotourism in New Zealand. So if you are interested, please contact.